like an elevator, always on the rise. I stay all the way up. Don't get it confused, I'm on my elevator. I stay on.
Levitation, looking to Zarak and Ricard over the people in the sequel. When Kadash is caught up to meet Yahusha in the sky, whether we're moved or we're alive, when the shofar is blown, it's time. Make sure my loan won't get denied. I'm building my credit, cause I'm indebted. Don't have the room to keep adding no messes. My time it is borrowed, so any transgressions I'm casting away, making Yasha investments. It's a Baraka, no blessing. My Nafash need a resting place. I keep pressing, hoping I see his face. First resurrection, I'm gonna be headed
on the way up, catching all the views like an elevator, always on the rise. I stay all the way up. Don't get it confused, I'm on my elevator, scraping up the skies. I stay all the way up, taking in the views on my elevator, always on the rise. I stay all the way up. Don't get it confused, I'm on my elevator. I stay on my elevator.
I stepped on the elevator of life as I slowly ascended. Relationships, descended. Had to stop to let them off, but it wasn't what I intended. All of he's off it to crack the whip, so I gotta make sure LB's equipped with the necessary tools to get a mansion and not a room that's guarded by the gates of Jews. This way I cannot refuse. Not getting off soon, we're about to erupt. That's why I'm stuck on this elevator, going up.
On the way up, catching all the views like an elevator, always on the rise. I stay all the way up. Don't get it confused, I'm on my elevator, scraping up the skies. I stay all the way up, taking in the views on my elevator, always on the rise. I stay all the way up. Don't get it confused, I'm on my elevator. I stay on my elevator.
Turn down for what? We stay all the way up. Right pad, no doze, like I'm trying to stay up. Waiting for my Husha to return, I'm checking to see. Don't know the hour, so I'm watching, yeah. I'm the 2 beach, making sure my house in order, yeah. I'll be waiting up for you, yeah. Bake the cake, not one of hate or display, I adore you, yeah. Cook this song up for you, yeah. I appreciate you, when it's my bye-bye, see you later. Pray I catch your elevator, Vader.
On the way up, catching all the views like an elevator, always on the rise. I stay all the way up. Don't get it confused, I'm on my elevator, scraping up the skies. I stay all the way up, taking in the views on my elevator, always on the rise. I stay all the way up. Don't get it confused, I'm on my elevator. I stay on my elevator.
Don't be tryna give me no apologies. Take all of that bullshit, leave it all for me. Cause you fuck off, I don't know what you are for me. But it's gonna take much more than apologies.
I don't wanna hear it, save it for somebody who cares. Too much been done to my people, constantly poking a bear. A sleeping lion is conscious, 400 years of sleep. So you know his belly is rumbling, the whole world is rumbling, and it's because of us. Finances plumbing, cause real issues rarely get discussed. Everybody they trust don't trust themselves, a bunch of rotten apples. Don't ever play with a snake, cause you heard a friendly rattle. It's time for battle, and they ever creep without a paddle. Told you once before, I'm on your who side, my life it matters. Total separation, no more weeping, no apologies can comfort us, you came for us.
Take all of that bullshit, leave it all for me. Cause you fuck off, I don't know what you are from me. But it's gonna take much more than apologies. So don't be trying to give me no apologies. Don't be trying to give me no apologies.
I'm done with it, I'm sick of it, don't give me no apologies. Been doing things wrong too long, depending on other when the power's inside of me. Call us all ahead, now listen, I ain't pick a fight, you the one started with me and all my peace. Time for us to be free, take back what belongs to the y'all dean. Spit fat, you was on us to our enemies. Some plunderers who plundered us, we supposed to be the many and balls of none. They supposed to be under us, when will we side, come together for the common cause. They killing us dead in the streets, dead in the street. I heard the dumb, I'm beyond this call. I'm talking to all of y'all. Down for the call, time for some action. And if these nuts wanna bust they shells, then well, let's get it crackin'. Them are our caskets. It won't stop till we take a stand and break the bands. If you with me, let me see by show of hands.
No apologies. Take all of that bullshit, leave it all for me. Cause you fuck off, I don't know what you want from me. But it's gonna take much more than apologies. So don't be trying to give me no apologies. Don't be trying to give me no apologies. Apologies. Don't be trying to give me no apologies.
I realize that it all makes sense. Yeah, analyzing different behaviors. Gotta move like you got some sense. Oh, they gon' catch you slipping sooner than later. Oh no, not me. I refuse to be the one that's gon' see. I can't go for that. Cause I'm not the one.
Look, somebody gotta go to Shio, but not me. The only one that's gonna be savior who's just copies. Everybody say be original, well copy that. But I'm in the kid who loose the seal, so I'm a copycat. Used to live December, made a beeline. Your hooster coming early like the bar, they raise at B-time. Gotta work to show myself a proof, can get the rewind in the midst of the Milwaukee putting me, I'm back on D-line. So hut, I'm a playmaker. Secure salvation like I've been working with Haymaker. No sick days on the job and we don't work for paper sacrificing. Gotta give her all, he'll give us more later. The more I think about it, it's just like investing. And y'all's a man of his work, so do his will and test him. And you can try it on your own, but your end is grim. Who should even did the will, he never left him.
I realize that it all makes sense.
I do.
Yeah, analyzing different behaviors. Gotta move like you got some sense.
You do.
Oh, they gon' catch you slipping sooner than later. Oh no, not me. I refuse to be the one that's gon' see. I can't go for that. Cause I'm not the one.
I'm working out my soul to salvation lightly. Gotta live and do the right thing. Work to Spike Lee. It's like we're making movies, follow the script. Gotta get right before the judgment set and skies get split. And when they cry loud, here comes Yahusha. It's coming sooner when we first believe. The glory of man fades away like when the leaves. Don't let them tell you different, don't you be deceived. I ain't capping, telling lies or politicking. I'm just a vessel who was chose to warn the wicked. And your courage is so deep because he's saving some. Who was giving all you sinners time, ain't no warning tickets. I serve you who work from sun up to night leave. Can't afford to gamble with my soul, mistakes are costly. I'm a servant of Yahuwah, so you know we boss me. Cause everything gon' go left when right leaves.
I realize that it all makes sense. Yeah, analyzing different behaviors. Gotta move like you got some sense.
You do.
Oh, they gon' catch you slipping sooner than later. Oh no, not me. I refuse to be the one that's gon' see. I can't go for that. Cause I'm not the one.
No.
Hey yo, Biz, what you cooking?
Speak on this situation.
Get some things clarified.
People out here doing this, doing that. Understand? Trying to please the next person. When everything all on you, what you gonna do? Man, I'm just trying to make it in. Not if I get please, man. Had companionship with the band. Not if I get please, man. Fellow citizen and a friend. I just need you to comprehend, I ain't serving them if I yet please man. So past and present people hating, I'm glad you're hating. Keep that stank look on your faces, y'all have me laughing daily. I ain't trying to fit your fashion, I just be how he made me. Yet pleasing man, I ain't serving other Mashiach, baby.
I'm purpose driven, I'm going for perfect living and operating. That's Tommy may not know, but it's different. I ain't trying to please men, cause Elohim is my focus. Pleasing men like sowing seed that get devoured by locusts. Leave you hopeless when you don't work for it, they all come to naught. Your who's just coming, best believe that he gon' blow up the spot. And it's cool, you're getting lit cause your show is hot. If you think I'm on fire, now watch how I roll when I drop. Can't rock no skinny jeans, and it ain't because of fatness, but your hoodie ain't cut different, so we don't fit your fashion. I keep my tassel tucked tight, I dress different from y'all. I'm like Yahoo back in the day, and you a worshiper of all. You ain't never seen it, your man come give him praise like this. But your Yahuwah found me worthy, so he gave me this gift. I give him my all every time that I spit. Hate it for you if you don't like it, but I won't quit, nigga.
I'm just a voice that's crying out in the wilderness. Betcha you never picture that giving praises a look like this. I'm not a Christian, them Cretans don't never question shoot. You bout to find out if you don't know what the business is. From me, a servant of the album, but the business is I'm a Mashiach, my physician and my nutrition is Ra and Shara recommended this regimen. Ruach diet got me reaping essential benefits. Exercising with just the bar, my mental fitness lit. Don't get me bent, I got combinations to hit you with. Note the message, don't cloak me with your perspective. I'm running for your acceptance. Miss me with that deception. Comprehending these lessons bound to get me to perfection. So the natural man, I check him. When he seem to get the flexing, I say look here for a second. Scriptures I recollect, they keep me careful how I'm stepping. Marshall Lee Jerry, man, I'm just trying to make it in. Not if I yet please man. Had companionship with the band. Not if I yet please man. Fellow citizen and a friend. I just need you to comprehend, I ain't serving them if I yet please man. So past and present people hating, I'm glad you're hating. Keep that stank look on your faces, y'all have me laughing daily. I ain't trying to fit your fashion, I just be how he made me. Yet pleasing man, I ain't serving other Mashiach, baby.
I be your Medidas, 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 I be your Medidas. On this journey, equipped with what I needed, I discovered life essential so that I won't be defeated. I got to live right, the only path to freedom. If I can't do nothing else for y'all, then I be your Medidas. On this journey, I'm equipped with what I needed, I discovered life essential so that I won't be defeated. I got to live right, the only path to freedom. If I can't do nothing else for y'all, then I be your Medidas. Get right, sit tight, take flight, just simplify the order. There's some things that lie between the steps that make the journey harder. Cash flow clogged up in direction never thought of. Watch your work go up in flames. Will we still see you tomorrow? Man, I'm following the martyr. Press the darkest stone or two. It's the detractors in the audience, you need some living proof. When the score ain't in your favor, yeah, they label you a fluke. When you regain your advantage, let them see just how you grew. Celebrate while you got space, another storm on the brew. Digging deep, I'm taking root. Steadfast until I move, singing I'll follow you to the end of time. Things switch and make it change your mind. Can you stand the test of time? Double ream of eternal God, act as a state. Stabilize the maturation of this tree, I pray. Living up these people needs a doctor, I got chased. Strolling in Kadas is not your clock, get out the way. Kill them on this journey, equipped with what I needed. I discovered life essential so that I won't be defeated. I got to live right, the only path to freedom. If I can't do nothing else for y'all, then I be your Medidas. On this journey, I'm equipped with what I needed. I discovered life essential so that I won't be defeated. I got to live right, the only path to freedom. If I can't do nothing else for y'all, then I be your Medidas. Malcool, spearheading my contention. I done seen so many ups and downs, can leave and I get dizzy. Sorta like an athlete, performing all conditions. Battle back and forth like this, I keep playing tennis. It's like Cam Sanders versus Satan Agassi. Notice that I'm getting stronger every time you agitate. Not dismayed by the break, someone else can take the bait. Life flimsy as a trait. If you could, you'll take my place. The bar unbreakable, you base. Make a law shatterproof, or apply it as a man. Now you're left with no excuse. Look, I can make it through. World I can't refute. I can bear some fruit. Crown I can accrue. No attempt to convolute you. Who should galvanize the troops? When things seem unbearable, your stance I can't review. Now my countenance renewed. Doubt I withdrew. cost that I compute, what it takes to walk with you. Get 'em. On this journey, equipped with what I needed, I discover life essential so that I won't be defeated. I got to live right, the only path to freedom. If I can't do nothing else for y'all, then I'll be your Matheus. On this journey, I'm equipped with what I needed, I discover life essential so that I won't be defeated. I got to live right, the only path to freedom. If I can't do nothing else for y'all, then I'll be your Matheus. I'll be your Matheus. I'll be your Matheus. I'll be your Matheus. I'm right on roll, baby. I ain't writing nothing. Can't condemn this truth, baby. Damn it. Y'all check it out. Check me out. This is how I'm living. And by the list of things you niggas can't condemn it. Her mind is undefeated, but so great a cloud of witness. Conduct investigations, go and do it quickly. Check me out, check me out. This is how I'm living. And by the looks of things you niggas can't condemn it. Her mind is undefeated, but so great a cloud of witness. Conduct investigations, go and do it quickly.
That's restraining me and spark the flame in me. My heart is changing me, sustaining me and never shaming me. Favor remain with me, reframing me from Satan entangling. Peel, cocaine, and weed, no banging free, so hanging street, so vain and dangerously a sinner. But Yahushua came to me and spoke it plain to me, explained to me my purpose. Life is no longer a game to me. Confessing so he won't be ashamed of me and put his name in me. Enduring as a good soldier, I gotta remain to be, so y'all can get the glory. Receiving all of the fame in me, the same as me. My mystical car all go against the grain with me and spit the flame with me. Packing enemies, taking aim with me. No vain jangling, no philosophy entertaining me. No game in me, I learned from pain in me that it's insane to be a transgressor, more or lesser. It's all the same degree, but I'm a game to be what is written and it's containing me, training me, keep abstaining from spot, wrinkle, or blaming me.
Check me out, this is how I'm living. And by the looks of things you niggas can't condemn it. Her mind is undefeated, but so great a cloud of witness. Conduct investigations, go and do it quickly. Check me out, check me out. This is how I'm living. And by the looks of things you niggas can't condemn it. Her mind is undefeated, but so great a cloud of witness. Conduct investigations, go and do it quickly. Check me out, man. Now I can live without sin. Now couple goes to Yasbin, Malak of all of my kin. Yahushua HaMashiach, pump me up like Reebok. Devising plans against it, you gon' flop like Vlade Divac. Watch his transition, still standing while you surprised. Rita came a long way like we Aki, Ivan, Dada. In pursuit of rule by termination of accusers. Finding chicks and truth, you done created an illusion. Scoping out all liberties, let us know when you finish. Short attention span, 59 minutes your limit. Disingenuous, think to quit, you make like strenuous. I just let y'all do what he do, transform my mind and clean me up. Spill your guts, you hater or rather dwell in a shock. Better join the winning team, ain't much time on the clock. But off from Leo Rice, a peculiar way of living. I see you talking, but y'all sinners can't condemn it. Nope. Check me out, this is how I'm living. And by the looks of things you niggas can't condemn it. Her mind is undefeated, but so great a cloud of witness. Conduct investigations, go and do it quickly. Check me out, this is how I'm living. And by the looks of things you niggas can't condemn it. Her mind is undefeated, but so great a cloud of witness. Conduct investigations, go and do it quickly. You can't condemn it, man. I know you're on your social media sites. You got a lot of stuff to say. Trying to get an inside track of what's going on in here, man. Worry about yourself, man. I hear you talking. Why y'all do this? What about that? What about your mama? I'm mistaken for your dad.
So if my heart gave up and my veins won't pump, cause my lungs gave in, you know I gave it my all. I gave it all of my all. And if my calluses are bleeding and there's blisters on my feet, it's cause I put my soul in all I do. And they can't take it cause I gave it all of my all.
Hear me, Abba, as I'm standing under the shamash. Allah to Mahusha because he harash of my life. Hands up, time to fight these crackers and make more statues of stone from panoramic sight. Gave me another chance, can't waste his time twice. Y'all seal me like a lid when canning fruit with spice. Excellence should be a habit, ooh, not an act. Such an impact, I can't get sidetracked. Just like a racehorse, I gotta get down to that line. Got my blinders on, dig deep, it's time to grind. My bad about the buzz from the adrenaline rush, but I'm holding it to the end. Cause once I stop and release, I'm looking to eat with the bin. LV, not gon' stop, but you want me to. This bet is serving, yeah, I think it's time for you to choose. Cause you about to lose, miss out on the mall. You got three choices, give up, give in, or just give it your all.
Hey, gave up and my veins won't pump, cause my lungs gave in. You know I gave it my all. I gave it all of my all. My all. And if my calluses are bleeding, and there's blisters on my feet, it's cause I put my soul in all I do. And they can't take it, cause I gave it all of my all.
This life is all about compete for what you believe in. Your reason for your whole being, conclusion to meaning. Producing fruit that can be eaten. The juice you just squeezing, there's a sweet conducive to breathing. The ruach of season, Kadash, not in the way of heathens. Been there and done it, delivered from it. Bring to fruition the bottom to keep you unrecognizable. The people on blocks I was frequent. They know I'm about my arbor business, they know when they see me. My fallow ground was broken by thunderous sound. They all saw me pick up the pieces. Passed on opportunity, would've kept me from seeking. My focus and hoping that what I'm reading, the scripture open, behold it free me. I chose Yahusha over Jesus and the crowd pleasers. Neo soul chicks and strip teasers. By the foolishness of preaching, my vices I defeated them. Looking to hear well done, oh faithful servant, your mission
So if
complete.
my heart gave up and my veins won't pump, cause my lungs gave in, you know I gave it my all. I gave it all of my all. And if my calluses are bleeding, and there's blisters on my feet, it's cause I put my soul in all that I do. And they can't take it, cause I gave it all of my all.
Tenfold, I bury my kinfolk. Tell me if you copy a contrite heart, man, I been broke. I ain't talking about no dollar signs, I'm in a rent, so repent, bro. Them eyes won't get you everywhere like Renfro. Bigly, this my journey, man, I run this race with patience. Steady in my walk like Indiana, I be pacing. Put my heart in it, put my soul in it. Got a llama making straight the path, I just roll with it. Take what he teach and flow with it. On these tracks I'm novel, trying to get back to my opera. Can't be hot or cold with it, had to make up my mind. No Mary Kay or no Maybelline, kinda like my Aku, all covered up and they stay so clean. Salute to my Aki, that's my Kodash posse. Standing on the wall for Yahshua, won't let no one stop me. Yahudim the winning team, we true Gabar like Clay and Curry. Be about my Abbas B.I.Z. until the day they bury
So
me.
if my heart gave up and my veins won't pump, cause my lungs gave in, you know I gave it my all. I gave it all of my all. And if my calluses are bleeding, and there's blisters on my feet, it's cause I put my soul in all that I do. And they can't take it, cause I gave it all of my all.
I'll just put it down now then. We'll count it later. I appreciate it. All right, everybody all right? We're going to get ready to let them sign the Cartos around. And we'll try to move back. So what are the comments y'all made? Or this other people? What are the comments of that? I said, oh, those are the name of the Zamar that were playing? Okay. Everybody said, okay, to be alive. By the command of Yahuwah. So, I'm trying to be for y'all too long. Who are willing. Y'all all right? Y'all enjoyed this weekend? Yes. Say, Mr. Yahuwah, we call Shabuah. Isn't that right? Got to hear the bar, the word. Then we got to hear some Zamar. Isn't that right? And then that's when you share songs to Elohim. Isn't that right? It's different than just singing anything. You get to sing and get a kabod to him for truly worthy. All of us, he granted this opportunity to be here. This Yom didn't have to do it, but as always, he's always been. He's always Yukanon, right? He's always gracious. The fact that he's given us this opportunity to be able to come to symbolize, say, have a mind to do it too. And these last, in the Rosh Hashanah, a lot of people not able to do it. A lot of people won't do it. A lot of people can't do it. A lot of people just got too many other obligations. So when you're looking at Shakar him, worship him, that's one of the things that's hard for people to do depending on how much you got in the elements, The world got so many things going on, so it makes it almost virtually impossible to even have a mind to even try to serve him. But I appreciate him for granting us a mind and understanding and realize, without him, we nothing. And considering our latter end at the end of the day, what people don't consider when they're out living is there's going to be a judgment behind this. He said, as it is appointed unto Shem once to moot, to die. He said, after this going to be the mashpat. That's the judgment. That's when he's going to come and he's going to put his foot down. Isn't that right? When Daniel declared it, isn't that right? Judge Elohim, he said when he saw he saw a throne, said it was cast down. Isn't that right? He said then the mashpat was set up. Isn't that right? When he come to set his malkuth up down here, he going to pass judgment on everybody. Isn't that right? So you just got to consider your latter end. You can do what you want to do. Just consider your latter end at the end of the day. That's for everybody. That's a whole world of people out here doing stuff. At the end of the day, you start considering things ain't more important than my salvation. That's why I'm here. Regardless of how things going, how things look out there, at the end of the day, you start seeing people fading and people leaving him. The living is who dying, the dead are already dead. So I appreciate that understanding, just allowing us to consider that. I know everybody doesn't, but you should. At the end of the day, you're going to leave him. When you leave him, where you going to go after that? Isn't that right? You're going to have to meet him. Isn't that right? You won't see him now, but you'll meet him when he come back to set up the mosh pot. All I'm trying to do is make sure I'm ready. There's some haters out there now. And haters gonna hate. Isn't that right at the end of the day? But I appreciate he gave me that mind, though. I tell you what, you hate all you want to. I'm glad it ain't on the outside. That man that man set himself against you. And he set you up for the long one and said, you ain't gonna make it in. That's tight. I tell everybody, kids, wife, husband, mother, father, sister, brother, at the end of the day, you have to start doing considering what it take to make it in, what you're willing to give up to make it in, what you're willing to separate from to make it in, what you're willing to suffer to make it in. That's a lot. I tell anybody, this ain't something you just want to pick up and just start doing something. Like picking up one of them bolo bats, you pick it up, just start batting that thing and put it down. When you pick this up, you can't put it down. He said, no man having put his hand to the plow looking back, so ain't even fit. That's tight. You picked up the bowling bat. You said, man, I'm tired for to put it down. He said, you put it down, you ain't even fit. You said, well, like I said, I'm still going. Ain't that right? Every time you get tired, want to put it down. He said, you put it down, you ain't even fit. So you got to keep going. There's a lot of things, I appreciate Mr. Yahuwah for giving us that opportunity to be able to consider that. A lot of people don't, because it seems like it's an opportunity that's given to everybody, but it's actually not. It's actually not. And I told y'all before, I said, you can't serve him till you get some debt. It take you to screw up everything you got, take you to mess up everything you got, take you to cut off every avenue, every support help. That way he become your all in all. See, for a lot of y'all ain't gonna make it. I'll be honest with you, because you still got a lifeline. You know how they had that, what's that thing they call it? How to Be a Millionaire? You know, you can't figure it out. They said, listen, you got a lifeline. That give people hope. Think about it. If I don't know it, I got somebody I can call. Yeah, when you say you got one more lifeline, so it give them opportunity to stay in it. So when you get in here and you ain't got nothing else, you say, I gotta get that right. I ain't got nobody else I can call. I told you one of the best movies. I won't watch it now, Richard Gere gay. I never seen it. I watched some of his movie, but I try to catch him because usually some of them will give off a little something. I ain't seen it. They say he's just a gay. Y'all done heard Richard Gere was gay? Look it up. I'm gonna have a conversation with somebody about that. Somebody said Richard Gere was gray when he was gay. I don't know. Maybe they say he was gray. Let's find out. Kevin Spacey. Who is Steven Spacey? To the board. You think I'd have holler out of wrong? You know two things that bad to be, loud and wrong. He just did both. And they said, don't be wrong and loud. At least you be humble. Steven Spacey. Somewhere nobody don't really know you and holler out. When you holler like that, you done cut the music and they done turn your mic. He like, turn my mic up, I can holler out the right answer. You gotta get. Huh? Who married a woman? And so does Magic Johnson. So does Magic Johnson. Expecting that first child, that son. That's a long time. It take that man in 2018 to muster up enough to get a son. In 18, Richard Gere at least 60. He trying to put one on Al Pacino. Yeah, he at least, he minimum 60. How old is that man anyway? He been married to a single woman. Cindy Crawford, the model. I know who Cindy Crawford was. And he was married to her. When was that? So who this woman is? There's another woman. I remember that pretty woman. And he married Cindy Crawford. How many of y'all knew about that? How many of y'all didn't know nothing about that? I remember he married her. Pretty woman, he in the bottom. That tight. Justin White, why he didn't know before you would know. They'll send Justin. Do you think that Richard Gere was sending Black Kara an invitation before he sent it to you? And he was sending, you think he'll say, yeah, let me send it to Kara, or he'll send it to you first? That's what I'm thinking. And you don't know nothing about it. See that? He don't even like it. What is that? Richard Gere is not gay. Let me tell you how you know he's gay. Why they got that up there? Who took the time to write that start off a sentence? Because that means folk been questioning. Come on, when they start your biography, oh, you not gay. Why you had to say that? They supposed to start, he not a homemonger or something like that. A thief. They start your stuff right off the rip and put it, and look at the color. No. Richard Gere wrote that. The claim he received for playing Max in a play bent, various, what's that? Suspicions regarding Richard Gere's sexual orientation began to circulate. See that? They know what they're doing. Martin Sherman, who ain't that white man with no hair in his face? Kind of funny looking. I wonder he related to Sherman Hillsley. Y'all remember Martin Sherman? You think about Martin Short? I don't judge people because of their height. He could have a weak gene. Isn't that right? The height of a man don't define him. Isn't that right, Chris, for the record? So that's not the same person. You know how people got stage name. His stage name might be Sherman. Yeah, you look in his eyes, there's something else going on. But that movie, The Double, he was pretty good. Y'all seen The Double? How many of y'all ain't seen The Double? Haven't seen it? Yeah, you want to watch that. That's good. What I'm saying, I know I put it out there before. Check. Well, who out here said it? Tell the truth now. Check. I know I put that thing in that thread. I know I put in the thread. Oh, they probably ain't in the thread. That's probably what it is. They probably visiting. They probably first time coming. He did, and then in Arbor, what else gave the other one? Arbiter, who was it? Arbitron, yeah, that was a good one. I'll tell y'all about that. Y'all remember? How many of y'all didn't watch that one? Let's watch the hand. Look at the hand. Look at the hands. Look at the hands of these folks. Look at them. Look at them. Raise them hands up. Huh? That's tight. You cutting them down, buddy. You remember that one too? Don't play that. That means that's what's up. No, don't do that. I know that. Jahid, you watched it? You hypocrite. I know that. I have some. I can't wait till we do a winning team part 2. I just can't wait to expose them. We got footage of them too, don't we? There's time when we expose them, this is it. Y'all want to watch? We're going to expose them, and we're going to send these CDs all over the world. Y'all hear me? Wherever you at. We're going to get it to the natives. We're going to, listen, if you don't have a TV, we're going to send you a TV and a 8-track to play it on. Y'all, no 8-track was serious. They took up a lot of room in your car. You remember what I'm saying? Man, I remember, folks, listen, you'd have like a briefcase. If folk was serious about the 8-track, they having a briefcase, like the middle console, that when you to stack them in now. You remember that? Y'all remember? I just remember that. When you was a passenger? Yeah, passenger don't know nothing about it. But 8-track was serious. You stack them in the middle right there. How many of y'all remember the 8-track? Man, you remember the 8-track? Yeah, you had a car back there when they was out. What you and Fred and Barney used to do? You remember y'all ride? Y'all had to kick off with y'all feet. Remember that? Man, we used to run past them gas stations. Ain't that right? Man, get the fuse straight from the dinosaur. Man, that must have been a time right there. We be talking about how big them Big Mac was. Man, them brontosaurus burgers. I like the brontosaurus burgers. Like, where we can get one of them? Ain't that right? Like, if you had a chance to eat a brontosaurus burger, that's what I'm talking. That's all we want to be honest. I cut it in half. I'd have ate a piece. There's some more in here would have ate it. Don't try to act like y'all wouldn't. No good. No good would have ate a brontosaurus burger. But anyway, having said all that, time to consider. Isn't that right? Young people, old people, everybody, time to consider out loud the end. I'm gonna get one of these preachers up. I'm gonna let them preach. I can preach now. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. I do that for a living. Yeah, they actually, y'all might not believe it. People pay me to preach. Yeah, folks, yeah. I have been accused of preaching before. Yeah, they've accused me of it before. And I've been guilty. I've done it. By golly, I'll admit it, I've done it. Riley used to preach. Stop. We didn't say Riley was gonna preach. I said Riley used to preach. He got that toxic gum and burned up all that little word he had. Riley used to preach though, didn't you? You preached a couple of times. Then you said one time, was it you? I'm honest. Then one of y'all say y'all got mad and just started cussing at the folk. Does somebody remember something like that? I know I ain't making this up now. This mighty funny. I remember this. I'm attaching it. I mean, say got them folk one say, man. He said just let them have it. That wasn't you. Do you remember that story though? Somebody attaching that story to you or something? See that was, you know what I'm saying? You know what? They're about like that Richard Gill story. Now how this story come and attach it to his name? Instead of, man, Riley preached a good message. Did you feel like it touched somebody back then though? That's what I'm saying. It's probably somebody listening to me right now won't come because they done heard Riley tell them, don't go nowhere else when you hear that. Isn't that right? That's right. Was it a big crowd or just regular? It's a few people. Regular? What you call regular? He said, well, 2 or 3 are gathered. Yeah, I remember that time. They had Riley out there doing that security. They were trying to see how many spots they had. The airport need their money. They trying to find out they need to put that sign up there saying, closed, ain't no more room. Come in, Riley. How many parking spaces are there? How many cars? They said, give us an accurate count. Riley, look around that thing. About 100. We need an accurate count. That man doing he just eyeball the parking lot. It's about 100. Oh, we had some time. That back then when they found Danny up on the car asleep. Danny went in. Danny said was knocked out. Danny was tired. I done heard about folks go to their car, go to sleep, go to the bathroom, go to sleep, get in the closet. I done heard all kind of. I've never heard nobody crawling under the bottom of a car going to sleep. Man, they said about 6 cars had parked over the top of Daddy. Man, Santa said she had the hardest time getting out of all the transmission leaks out the back of his shirt. She thought he had been working at Jiffy Lube somewhere. But at least you made it. I haven't fell asleep on, what was it like, 27,000 steps? Concrete. That man stretched himself out. I'm talking about the long way. Let's start. Leave him him, but done it. Where the Black Knight at? Well, the Black Knight was rough, man. That's a lot of folk got gone the Black Knight got through. Black Knight took pictures of everybody he could, even people that didn't work there. They thought he would work with TSA and what's them other folk be on the plane? He had got him a job. What them people on the plane, them air marshal? That man was sitting on the back of the airplane wing in the blade trying to find employees sleep on break for over 3 seconds. He didn't play that stuff. He kept that thing a tight ship. Ain't that right? Where Ryan at anyway? Is he missing? Yeah. How we doing, kind sir? Doing all right? Don't mind him being quick. Y'all can set him up here. He can say he got to sit all the way in the back. Come on up in the front. Yeah, you come sit on up here and enjoy yourself. I'm just sitting here talking about these people running them down. They all right. Everybody all right? I appreciate it. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you fine. Yeah, have a sit down. He fine. Yeah, everybody all right? Well, look like I'm got to go to work. Ain't that right? All right, we're going to get ready to look and talk and see what does say the Most High. But this is a script. This particular program right here we're using is called Beth HaMashiach. And what this program is for, why we use this program, it actually color codes. So what we do, we speak what they call the Hebrew. It's called Abari. It's actually the real name, not Hebrew. But what it is, when it's color coded, this is how you would enunciate it in its language. This is it kind of being translated into English, so it's color coded. Then here you have the Greek. Then you have the English translating the Greek. So that's one reason why we use this program right here. You see this up here. This would be considered the ancient. Well, the middle, correct? The middle? Ancient. So the ancient would be here. So for people that read it, the modern, so it gives an opportunity to look at all the different scripts. So we appreciate that. So what we do right here, we're going to use Romans 15:4. I always start here because it's important whenever you're doing anything is to establish a base, a foundation. And I tell y'all, I know y'all look at, well, we got a foundation. Well, one thing about it, we're not going to go and recreate the foundation. We're just going to make sure we keep it settled. Sometimes when you leave certain things, sometimes you'll forget where you come from. And now you should leave, as he said, the foundation of repentance. Once a person get the understanding, there shouldn't be any reason for a person to kind of come back to it. The reason why we'll find ourselves constantly a lot of times in repentance, I think a lot of it happens because we don't really understand what it is we violate. Y'all got it? A lot of times people don't know. Just like a person riding down the street, you'll go through there, you ride, police pull you and say, hey, you say, you're trying to figure out, what is he stopping me for? Yeah, I don't know what it could be, maybe a tail light out, I don't know. Stop and say you were speeding. Said speeding? So I didn't even see. Well, say it was a sign back there. You said, I didn't even know it. Now you ain't gonna believe it. Because you didn't know it, you're still guilty of it. And guess what happened with people today? They guilty of violating the Torah, which is the law, the instructions of Elohim, and a lot of times they didn't know it. They don't realize you're still guilty of it. It doesn't matter. Y'all ever seen the police say, well, I ain't gonna give you no ticket because you didn't know it was a sign back there? Listen, he said, I'll be back. Got your license. 9 times. You can get a ticket. You sitting there looking in your mirror saying, maybe that joker head down, he typing, seeing for once and everything else. You getting that ticket. And all you thinking, man, goodness, man, if I'd known that sign was back there. And see, that's a primary of, well, it kind of gives an opportunity to realize you could be guilty of something and not even know it. And a lot of time when we don't have the information, you're guilty. And a lot of times people feel like they're free and feel like they hadn't done anything. It's just because you didn't have the knowledge of it. So it's important to establish a foundation to get the principles. Then we start moving into other ideals he's established for us. Because there are other things you can be guilty of. They're not direct as far as people might look at keeping Shabbat, what they call the Sabbath day, or other things. There are a lot of other things you can have. Then we start finding out there are things you can violate in your law. You can look on a woman in lust where you have a strong sexual urge desire for her, and you ain't never touched her. He said, and that'll be considered katar. That's sin. But see, when nobody told us, because we looking at, ain't like I slept with her. Ain't like we laid in the bed and we were kissing and hunching on each other. But he said, if you look at them, so we start looking at how important it is to understand the method of the inner working of a man. Y'all got it? The inner working, because this a lot of time what puts us in violation with him. There's some things that's obvious that we can see, that's transgression. Like if I see that man saying turn up a fifth of liquor, what we thinking? That might be wrong? We know it's wrong, but there's some things that might be in his heart. You can't see it with your naked eye. But when the word comes, the word gives that opportunity to find it for every one of us. It ain't just, I'm going to be watching him. I'm going to see how he look, what his reaction is when I say certain things. If it cut him, well, it's going to cut you too. That's why it's two-edged. Something, when you go in a swing and cut, it cuts you too. It's meant to do that. The man hell to get cut with it. Some of these cool sisters probably have been using a knife, been cutting, and then really look up there, they've been cutting something, look at it, like, I done cut myself. That's how sharp it is. Don't even realize that wasn't your intent, but since you were handling it need to get you too. So when the debar comes, the word, it's designed to make sure everybody get cut. Y'all got it? Everybody get cut so you understand how sharp and how quick it is. Sometimes you cut yourself, you say, ooh, that thing be stinging, hit later still in effect. Y'all ever had that you cut yourself and like it get worse the more it go? Isn't that right? Like, goodness, like the thing I got worse than the first time I cut it because it's working on you. It's weighing on you. And that's how the word works. It's designed not to just cut and go, because if it cut and go and you heal quick, then you don't have nothing to consider. Y'all got it? All right, let's look at this. This is Romans chapter 15, verse 4. And we'll start here. Listen.
For whatever Nikatab before.
So Nikatab was written. That's important for us. The Katab is the writings. So now we learned that the writings was written aforetime. And what happened?
Before Nikatab to lamid us.
So it was written so it could lamid us, which is to teach us, which is going to be a combination of sight, hearing. Y'all got it? All these things are important for you. To see it, like they said, seeing is believing. You ever heard that before?
Yes, sir.
And then you got the hearing part of it. So there's a protocol, or there's an objective in getting us to understand teaching different than just somebody just told me something. It's making sure you got all of it from the appearance to the knowledge of. So when we look at knowledge, we're going to look at the word called da'ath, right? I think it's up here. Da'ath is the word we use for knowledge. At the bottom, right here, da'ath. So this is the Abari word for knowledge. Y'all got it? So when we start looking at these different things, we're going to try to make sure we got an understanding about them. And of course, we understand things because we've been taught from an English perspective, but it's important to kind of look at things at how did they see it. Y'all got it? We want to know how did they see it. Again, the reason why I say that is because, I think people in general, black, white, Asian, everybody, you can take everybody back to the source of where it starts at. What'll happen? People are leaving, people are starting to try to associate it with them versus let's associate with the actual facts of what happened. Let's get out of the color. Let's get out of all the other things we use that kind of divide us, that make us break off. Because you ask yourself, on the day of what they call Ukak Shabur, that they call Pentecost, everybody heard the same thing. So when people went back to their region, how did we come up with all these different methods? How did we come up with all these different ideologies? Because people over the course of time start to look at things the way they see it and the way their culture is. But he already cultured the way before we came here. So if we go back to Adam, we go back to the people that were here who he established covenants with. The word for covenant we look at is berith. So we want to look at what did he establish. Now, what was this berith? What was it based upon? See, if you don't look at it the way they saw it, this is the thing you got to see. This is for me, you, everybody. We're trying to obtain something they already got. How many of y'all got a high school diploma? So how many of y'all kids don't have a high school diploma? I'm gonna need a check from all these kids. There's a lot of kids in here, midgets and dwarfs, already got diploma. So these kids are trying to obtain something we already got, correct? Well, when we're trying to obtain this relationship with him, we're trying to obtain something they already had. So why would I watch you? Why wouldn't I follow the same path? You already have it. I'm trying to obtain it. Abraham wasn't trying to obtain it. After he received it, was he still trying to obtain it? No, he was trying to guard it, protect it, and make sure it wasn't lost. For us, we're trying to gain something. So it's important to go back and look at things from the perspective of how did they view it? Y'all got it? How did you see it? You know, so what was your understanding? So understanding should be Beni I think it's B-I-N-E, I think it is. Or B-I-N-A, B-I-N-E, they're going to put B-I-N-E should be the word, should be for knowledge, for understand, or understanding. Binah, there's one word for it because you got understand and you got understanding. So we want understanding that exceeds. There are a lot of things we want to sit back and consider. Even we talked about for wisdom. See, the way we look at wisdom is, it's a total difference in what their perception was of wisdom. When they look at things like we look at a person being wise or a person being wisdom, we look at the wisdom that comes from Elohim, which is Elohim with him is, is the most powerful, the Almighty. You got what I'm saying? So we look at the wisdom that he gave. And he showed his wisdom to be smarter than or more effective than other people's wisdom. Because he used them to compare against all the wisdom of the wise. My wisdom, he's out compared against all the wisdom of the wise. The whole land, the whole alarm, the whole world, and show you what wisdom makes sense. And what we'll do, we'll sit down and we'll try to have a word contest, a spelling contest, pretty much how we do things. That's how we pretty much grade people. Now let's do a spelling contest. Let's do a math contest. Let's do a history contest. We'll do all these things to try to prove ourselves, but how they understood a lot of things were a lot different. So that binah, understanding, and meaning, see, perfectly. Understanding perfectly is what we're trying to do. You can understand something, but you don't really have, it's kind of vague in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I kind of know what you're talking about. We want to get past kind of knowing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? There's an understanding that exceeds that.
That's right.
Okay? And that's what we're trying to get. But that understanding comes from one person. Okay? We'll finish what we have right quick, and we'll come back. You who are willing, we'll talk about that. So now what's important for us to understand is for whatever, don't make a difference what was written. Was Qatar written before? That was written, Qatar, to show us and teach us. That's why we go back and look at it. See, when you don't have that, you don't look at, think about it. As a Christian, early in doing things, you pretty much looked at certain things. You didn't really pay a lot of attention to it because really you try to get the stuff that's easier for you to catch on to and know.
Right. Right.
The Lord is my shepherd. How long did it take you to understand? The Lord, man, you can recite it. It just, okay. It's not argumentative. It's not something you really got. Okay, that's what it is. We try to look for that. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. We look for things that give us life. It doesn't put us through a whole lot to try to dissect, to try to figure. But then he lets you know that whatever was written only to show you and to teach you and instruct you. So now when I go back and look at things, when I write what they call the Old Testament, which I call the first Berith, which is the first covenant. Y'all got it? So we try to look at the first covenant that he established. Then when I go back to read it, I want to read it as insignificant. As a Christian, you pretty much get to the Old Testament. You cover, now, Old Testament stuff you do keep. The Lord is my shepherd, I share the 23rd song. Nobody, Christian, Old Testament, nobody argue with 23rd song. Oh, that's just not happening. I'm yet to find folk go to fight and tear up a play by the 23rd song. If my people call by my name, humble themselves to pray and seek my face, turn from their wicked way, then will I hear them, forgive their sin, heal the land. People don't argue about things. It's when it starts to give them, when it comes into a direct conflict. You see what I'm saying? When it comes into adultery, when it comes to, that's argumentative. A lot of things, you know what I'm saying? You start looking for reasons that you feel like you can get out of, but it's important to go back and look at these things with a different set of eyes in a sense. So that way, and with some guidance, so you can get a clear-cut understanding of how things more or less kind of transform into where they are today. Y'all got it? From the Rosha, which is the wicked, to the tube that you see people that still stand, that you see Sadiq, righteousness, it still has a consistency. It hadn't moved, it hadn't went away, it hadn't played out. It still remains the same. Y'all got it? Let's see. So we got that. So that through endurance, endurance, which is patience, going through without quitting. So we want to understand the purpose of why. This is stuff years ago, I just read it. You run through it. It's kind of like something that run through you, almost like a lecture. You just run through it. You don't pay a whole lot of attention. I mean, you got to get me to the meat. Get me to Jesus. Get me to something, make me feel good. Get me somewhere. But not all of it should make you feel good when you understand it.
That's right.
We understand, I only wrote all of this. This was only written to show you, to teach you, instruct you, so that you can go through and don't do what? To show you how prevalent, how evident it is. Look at how many people walk away from it and give it up.
Yeah, yeah.
And guess why they go through? Because I don't know what the writing was for.
That's right.
I told the 23rd Psalm out my Bible and put it over top of the toilet. or open the Bible up and leave it on the carpet. Y'all motherfuckers that leave it on the carpet table. When I was growing up, we put a 23rd, we put a 4-leaf clover in there.
That's
right. For good luck.
That's
Man,
right.
that green stuff smushed all over that page.
That's right.
I get that little weed got tired. But things like that happen because you don't have understanding. Everything you're looking for from him, you're looking for love. Okay, maybe it's a chance maybe it's a chance I'll have a Rolls Royce when I go outside. What's the chance of it?
Impossible.
Only if I'm gambling lucky, if I'm playing something outside of what he said. Anything that's gonna happen from him, by him, is gonna happen based off the relationship, based off of what he's established he'll do. So for me to be looking for a car or looking for this house, looking for something, and my behavior, my conduct is not evident or prevalent to what he's established, it makes no sense. But pretty much religion teach you to wish for things that make absolutely no sense. Save me while I'm drunk. It's impossible. You have people say that, he saved me when I was drunk one time. It couldn't have. Don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Your faculty is impaired. This is for a man or woman to be in a conscious state. Because there are things you got to consider. Especially when you're talking about when you're hearing the debate. We're talking about dawah, we're talking about knowledge. When you're talking about knowledge, you need to be in a certain place. Y'all got it? So he even teaches you how to obtain wisdom. That all of these things can reflect, all of them they can reflect, that people can see them. Y'all got it? And it shows in behavior. That's how they understood certain things. The way we understand things, it's a little different. Okay? So we want our understanding to exceed. Y'all got it? Okay, so now we're trying to look to go through without quitting. So how am I gonna do that?
Endure.
Lift some weights. Get up every morning and run 4 miles. What I'm gonna use?
Scripture.
If I do anything other than this, I'm gonna fail.
That's right.
Because now I've gone to my own understanding. So now, when I look at this, and I had a problem, one of my biggest problems was quitting. I was a major quitter. So at the time, this wouldn't have made sense to me because I was a quitter. It wouldn't have happened. But now it makes sense. And I realized that going through looking at, there are so many different relationships that happen with people that are somewhat different in the sense of how we see things today. But you can still see a relationship. You can see correlations, how a lot of things are people, you can relate to them. You can relate to how they did things. Even like a time, we try to relate ourselves with people who were consistent, which a lot of times is hard to do, especially when you're inconsistent. We more or less relate with people that weren't consistent. We relate more or less with people the failure people that failed to do. And that people that fail to, people that rebel, people that more or less our character. We don't want to. We want to relate with those people. Let's just be practical. Who you more closely relate to? How many of y'all here more relate to Abraham, who was consistent in everything he did? How many of y'all relate with Adam, somebody who started out and he got turned aside because of influence of somebody else? But you don't want to think about it. You're trying to relate to who though? Who do you closely relate to?
Adam.
Just say be practical. That's why he wrote it. So what happened? You saw influence. You saw a man that was moved by influence. How many times people try to influence you? Come ride with me. You know they ain't up to good. I'm telling you, we're going somewhere and play. By the time you get here, man, we've been everywhere. I'm tell you that people, that's how they get you. You tell somebody, see, just ride with me over here. Ride with me over here, mean, wait a minute, go somewhere else. Come back, when you thinking, how I get it? Guess what? Adam, no doubt, had the same mindset. Ain't that right? How I got here. See, that you don't want to associate, you don't want to think about it. You don't want to think about people who fail to comply. People that, he talked about the rebels, the people that rebel. That's you, that's me. That's who we more closely relate to. So when you look at these people you more closely relate to and how he cut these people off and they didn't get a chance, you think about now, I consider the recom. And the concede, which is the favor. So now I'm understanding I got this by favor and not by works. And he showed you that when he wants you to go through here looking not quick, because now when you see people that more closely relate to you, and I cut them off without another chance, and I gave you how many chances? Yeah. See, now you realize something. You're indebted to me. Yeah. Now you became a debtor, because you consider that could have been me. How many times we read Adam messed up in the gun? That was it third, because when they was in Vermont by the wilderness, he said they did it 10 times. How many of y'all only messed up 10 times? 9, 8, 7. How many times you messed up? He cut off some people and he swore they would never get in. They messed up 10 times. How many of y'all, you couldn't even count how many times you messed up? So guess what? Guess what? Make you feel that that indebtedness. It's the fact when we go back and read and see people, he cut them right off. You're thinking, should I even be here? Should I even be thinking? Guess what gets you to do that?
Right.
When we go back and look at what was written before time, that he actually allowed people to go through, make some of a mistake that you look at. That's tight. Because I know I've done about worse than that many times. And these people will come with no repentance, with no returning, no gathering back in. But now you indebted. Now you're indebted and you're appreciative for the fact that you understand that this ain't something I could earn. It's because of the things you've done, it drove you to get him.
Right.
I'm just being honest. It's because of the things you've done, that's what got you him.
That's right.
It's because of the things we did wrong. That's what drove us to want to get right.
That's right.
See, sometimes we wonder why a person does wrong. It goes that way because the Torah has to be right.
That's right.
Isn't that right? The Torah has already graded every man, the law. There's no man ever be justified in his sight with the Torah. It's just impossible. There's too many rituals. There's too many rules. There's too many regulations. There's no way you can keep them all. If it was, it would make no sense to save you by con. It makes sense to save you by grace. I'm sorry, be saved to you by works.
Right.
Yeah, it would.
Right.
It would make sense to grade you by works
Right.
because works will save you. It's because you couldn't. Now, a lot of times when people hear that, they'll find that for a reason to say, then it justified the behavior. No. See, it's because of the fact I understand. It's the fact that I'm acknowledging that the works won't save me and the works won't put me in. It makes me want to do it. I owe him that. I owe him that. It's the fact that he looked at, he allows you to realize where you should be and where you ain't. And it don't make no sense for you to be where you at. I'm talking about none. That's why I want to do it. I owe him this. See, when it works, I don't owe nobody nothing. I would never walk off my paycheck and tell I appreciate this favor. It's not no favor. You give me what I owe. You give me what you owe me.
That's right.
Why would I tell somebody I appreciate them for giving me what they owe me? That's retarded. You owe me that. But when it comes to con, which they call grace, when it comes down to concede, which is favor, well, you got to be a little more humility. That's
right.
what they teach you. Debt gets you humility.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Here to get us all off our high horses.
That's right.
So you get to a point where you can serve and get past all the things we use. A lot of things manipulate us. From skin colors, religion, there's a lot of things we use to manipulate. Money, status quo, classes, education, degrees. A lot of things manipulate people. People use these for cover up because it doesn't get people to see the real ideal of the person we are on the inside. There's a lot of things you can do to cover up. You move to different zone. What I do sometimes, I'm going to move and get off around these people. What I move and get around them people and I find I'm still the same person. So it wasn't the people. Moving didn't help. But it looks good though. It looks like you made a concerted effort to try to really do something different. But you didn't. You just try to make a decision, try to make a move to try to cover up, to look like you were doing something different. So the word comes to convict all of us so we can see those things that we hide and we keep. After a while, you'll keep piling up. It just get bigger and bigger. And after a while, you can't hide them no more. So we got opportunity to look at it and do different. So now we look at going through without quitting and through conjunction, through
the Nakum.
Consolation. It's got to be something in it for you. Get out of the mindset of, live, die, inherit later. That's true. But there's got to be something in it now. There's got to be something in it now to keep me going.
That's right.
See, there's got to be a motivation to get a man or woman to do right. The motivation to get right now, so later on, whenever it is, down the road, maybe 100,000 years from, no, it's not. I'm just being, just kind of using how we think sometimes. We don't know when it's going to be. Now we're seeing it being more evident that the alarm, the world is closer to an end as ever been. If nobody ain't believed it before, we've seen it now. We've never seen this many disasters. We've never seen this many wars at one time. We've never seen this many nuclear weapons being moved at one. In the 1960s, Russia and the U.S. with the Cuban crisis was the closest we ever seen. Closest anybody ever seen. That was the closest, and nobody had nuclear weapons aimed at each other. That was the closest. Everybody felt like the world would have ended then. Now, it can come from anywhere. But now it gets us to a point of looking at when we see the world ending, now it gives us a reason to sit back and really examine, really, where are you? Now where are you? This is close you ever seen it. This is things that we heard our grandparents say years ago. Won't be long, he'll be coming back. And you look, you don't see nothing. I don't know what they were looking at. I don't know what they were using to judge it to say it won't be long. But I tell you what, anybody, even a fool can look and see it can't be much longer. We live in a world now where homosexuality, I mean, they dominate.
Yes.
The whole realm of it, they dominate. They the decision makers. You know what I'm saying? They setting the standard for us. They're taking our kids, educating our kids. You know, in the 50s, 60s, 80s, it was unheard of that a homosexual could come to a school and sit down and read the kids with their legs open and no underwear. Nobody ever could imagine. Somebody walked up and told her that in the 70s, and they said, "Shut up, you talking stupid."
That's right.
That'll never happen.
That's right.
Can't say that now. Now you can say it'll never happen that a straight person will sit down and read to them. And you'll be truthful. But that's where the world is going. And now we start seeing these things unchanged. We see that when we hadn't had the knowledge of, we see that the author of him, this is what happened. The only way you got here because you didn't have the knowledge of. Why you think that Ka'ua, who they call Eve, her name is life giver Ka'ua. Why y'all think Ka'ua actually ate of the ox, the tree? Not just because of her feelings and what she thought and her appetite, it's because you lack something. See, when you get a real da'af knowledge for him, that's a superiority, an understanding. And that's what we want to get, because we're talking about exceeding. That's what we're trying to get with him. Y'all got it? Okay, so let's finish this up. So that consolation, which is a prize, and guess where we're going to find the prize at? It's of the writings. That's what we found out about the Berith, the covenant he made with Abraham, Yasakak, who they call Jacob. Who they call Isaac. His name means he laughed. That's what the name, because Sarah, when she found out she was pregnant with him, she laughed. So she named him Laugh. And then we got Jacob, the heel catcher, the son, because he came out, he was holding his brother's heel. So we got Jacob, the heel catcher. But these are the people that he made his Berith with. You know what you'll find with each one, all three of these men he made a Berith with? Not one of these guys had works that could have proved themselves to Elohim. Not one. And that's how the writing, the Qatar, the Kitabim, plural, we might have Tikva, which is a chord. So now we'll go back, let's look at it. How about it? See if that's the 10th chapter of the book of 10. See if that's 11, the book of Rashid. They'll call it Genesis. Rashid. See if that's the 11th chapter. Drop down to, I don't know. Let me see 11 and 1 right quick. Maybe 12, let me see. I know 12 and 1, I'll probably get that later. But there's a purpose. All right, Rashid. Pen going out. Goodness. Let me see, 11 and 1.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Listen.
Now the whole of rights was of one language.
That's 11 and 1.
Yes, sir.
Drop down. Give me 12. Oh, shit. Let's see, 12 and 1. All right, listen.
Now Yahuwah said to Abram, "Go forth for yourself from your country, and from your relatives, and from your Abba Bet, to the Arats which I shall show you."
Do me a favor, back me up to the 11th chapter, the last 3 verses of the 11th chapter. Because we done got to a point now where he just told him to go and do something. What's the last 3 verses? 30? All right, 11 and 30. Listen.
Sarah was barren, she had no Yalet. Terah took Abram his ben, and Lut the ben of Haran, the ben of his ben, and Sarah his Bath-in-law, his ben Abram Ishah. And they went forth with them from the region of the Chaldeans to come in the Arats of Canaan. And they went to Charan and settled there.
Yes.
The Yamim of Terah were 205 Shanim, and Terah Mut in Charan.
That's Abraham's father. Go ahead.
That's the end of it.
Okay, go ahead. 12 and 1.
Yes, sir. Now Yahuwah said to Abram, "Go forth for yourself from your country, and from your relatives, and from your Abba to the Arats, which I shall show you. And I shall make you for a great Gui, and I shall barak you, and make your Shem great, and so you shall be a baraka.
And the reason why we're looking at this, and I started back, probably could have went up a little further in the 11th chapter, is what we're trying to find is, when he looked at starting a Gui, which is a nation, that's all a Gui is, a nation. They'll just say Gentile. And a lot of times people hear Gentile, they automatically just start thinking of other nations. But we were also a Gui, which is a nation. All right? Yehuda was a Gui. There was a nation. So was Yasharal. There was a nation. There was a Gui. Y'all got it? So we look at other people. The Guims are nations. So we're looking at the nation. But this nation he was going to establish, he was serving them from somewhere. See, he separated this man from somewhere. His father, Torah, he let you know how long he lived. He told you about his brother. He told you about his sister. And it being his sister, like, just went through a lot of things. But one thing we couldn't find in the earlier writing is, what did Abraham do the reason he called him out? And that would have been what? Prayed all the time? Served him doing what? It was your favor. That's how you got it. He basically became the Abba, the father of favor. Concede. He did absolutely nothing. See, he just told him, I'm going to make a great nation. So what was the nation that you came out of? That's it. I made a nation of people. And now that same nation of people, the Gui, is still being established according to that promise, that Berit. See, this thing that we call in favor is something that's always been here. It's always been here. He set it up for us now. And he took a man and served out a person and served out a man. And by him, he made a declaration that all of the Goyim of the Arats, that's all of the nations of the world, are going to be Baraka through you. They're going to receive a benefit through you. Hello? That's part of the favor. So we want to understand these things because we want to understand what is our relationship. Now, this ain't to take anything away from work, because there should be some proof and evidence of what it is that you believe. And that's going to be shown in behavior, different things that we do. Y'all got it? But understand that what he granted to us, it was favor. And he said, I did him a favor. And when I did him a favor, I established some things for him to happen. Let's jump over right quick and see if that's the 26th chapter of the book of Rashid. They call it Genesis 26. 26 and 1. Listen.
Now there was a famine in the Arats, besides the previous famine that had occurred in the Yamim of Abraham.
Mm-hmm. So this was number 2. He said one besides the first one. We don't have a lot of writings about it, but we know of one based off the second one. So guess what we just found out? The second one let us know about it. That the second one come, we probably never knew about the first one. When he told us about this one declared it was one before this one.
That's right.
Hello?
That's right.
Okay. Let's see what happened. Listen.
So Yasakat went to
kind of similar. So he went kind of similar with Yahushua, believe it or not. When Adam. Hello? Y'all gonna have to believe it. Adam coming allowed us to realize that there had been a son, or there was a son besides him. But the evidence of him coming, how much would we have known about Yahushua, the first son, besides had it not been for the second one? A lot of the writings that we know and we establish him in his position is because of the first one. We understand the correlation of how he came out from Elohim without the aid of a man because of Adam. So had it not been for that second son, we wouldn't have known about the first one. Y'all understand that? How would you have understood the relationship? Had he not taken, Adam from the Adumah, from the ground? What aid of what man? That's the only way we accept the fact that Yahushua existed, was prevalent to us without the aid of a man. Because of the second one. Because the book declared when he brought him in, he said, let everything of Shekah worship, adore the firstborn. Yahushua was the firstborn. He was the firstborn. The only reason you know about it because of Adam, because of the second one. See, there are a lot of things in reading. Again, whatever was written aforetime, what was it written for?
I learned.
So what writing do you have about the first famine? The second one made you think about it. You learned, now you became inquisitive about the first one because of the second one. Because of the relationship we learned with Adam and Yahuwah, the existing one, it made us inquisitive to say, What happened with the first one? Okay, come on.
So Yasakak went to Gerar to Abimelech, Malak of the Philistine. Yahuwah appeared to him and said, do not go down to Mizraim. Stay in the Arats of which I shall say to you. Sojourn in this Arats, and I shall be with you and barak you. For to you and your Tuladath I shall give all these Arats.
Tell him why. Tell him about the works he did.
And I shall establish the oath with which I shabbat to your Abba, Abraham.
Listen.
I shall multiply your Tuladath as the Kukabim of Shamayim.
Your generation like the Kukabim, like the stars in the heights, expansions. Tell me why, son.
And shall give to your Tuladath all these Arats, and by your Tuladath
all the lands, and by your generation
all the Goyim of the Arats shall be Baraka.
So that they're going to receive a benefit. Tell them why.
Because Abraham shama to my call and obeyed my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my Torah.
Let me ask you a question. What did Yasakak do? And you ain't got to go nowhere. You ain't got to build nothing. See? Now he came along and gave another man favor by another man's labor. By another man complying, I've given you this. Then in doing so, I let you know that other Goyim's going to be barak through you. Because now you're going to be complying with what I'm telling you to do. And I'm going to establish something with you for the fact that you here with the intent to do. And because this coexists and it corresponds with a behavior I already recognize, I'm going to allow this favor to follow those that descend out from you. See, we've been busy trying to do something for some work that you can't do. I didn't want to count it to him. I'm going to count it to you a different way. So here's a man, he came here and he established something with him with no labor of himself. Because Abraham performed something, but Abraham, look at his works, didn't do anything for him because he received it by favor. Yet what he did do wound up being beneficial to him. Look at us with what we call salvation, Yeshua. How you obtain it? And you're going to go look at Yahushua. By one man's work, all Goyim going to be Baraka. I'm bestowing a benefit on everybody because of one man's work. What cross, what tooth did you hang on?
None.
What nails?
None.
What spit? What piercing in the side? Because another man did it. And now we come in and by us complying with that same ritual rites that they did and understanding it was given to us by favor and not by works. Now he'll establish another Goyim by it. He'll establish him. Listen, that's how he received it because of the works of Abraham. It was no works. He told her what Abraham did.
That's right.
But when Abraham got it, what works did he do to obtain it? None. But now the works he did perform become a benefit to him.
That's right.
And now by him complying became a benefit to Jacob. And by Jacob complying, that became a benefit to the 12 Benim, the 12 sons. And by them complying and whom they set out from them, it came all the way to us.
That's right.
Now we sitting around and we can sit around and boast, you ain't gonna believe it, in other man's labor.
That's right.
We can make our boast in another man's labor. Your code can make it. Everybody's had to leave and go to the Malak of Gerar, they're called the king of Gerar. And yet he didn't have to go. He can make his boast off of the works of Abraham and not of himself. And the reason why we're looking at this is because it's at a point in time that people need to really understand how little you actually have stake in this. So now you got to put something in. Because you had nothing in it to get in it. That's the thing about it. Abraham didn't have nothing in it. No more than you got nothing in it. You're establishing, now you're doing something, and now what you're doing becomes a benefit to somebody else. Just like what they did, the writings were for our learning. Y'all see that? What they gave us for our learning. So I would have quit if it had been for other men's work. Not by me working, that's why I don't quit. No, it's because I'm reading other people's labor. I'm looking at other people, and I'm benefiting from it. It's becoming a benefit to me. It's strengthening me. Other men that fail and women that fail, other men that stood, it's strengthening me, giving me a confidence and understanding. So now when I stand on it and somebody else, why? It becomes a benefit to them, but that don't benefit me to the end of my salvation because he'll never let it be a works. It's a con. But by me doing the works and somebody else watching it and somebody else seeing what's being exemplified and they take hold to it, it strengthens them. So now it becomes a benefit to them from another man's labor. Okay. I think religion has did a lot of damage to us, to a point to where we never really sat down and looked at the importance of where we need to be. And that's getting past ourselves, getting past our hang-ups, getting past our own ideas and ideology, getting past everything we deal with. You know, everything we do in a day, in a week, a month, a year, everything we do. A lot of times we set ourselves to do things and we forget how much of a part he plays. You know, he put you in situations that put you into inconveniences. Like there's some people in the hospital right now, they had other plans, but so did he. There's some people in a car wreck right now, flipped over. You ain't gonna believe it, they had some other plans. They left and told somebody, said, I'm finna get ready to go home. That's what they thought, but he had some other plans. So you start looking at things like, how much do you really play a part in things going the way that you say? How much real part do you really play in that? Absolutely none. It's cause somebody favor. He let one make it home, he cut another one off. That's just, it ain't a thing where you can sit down like they say, it's the luck of the draw. No, it's con. So it gives you the sense of the importance of, I need to please this man. Because I don't really play a whole part in what I'm doing. Hey, y'all ever rode by an accident scene? I remember I seen one time, I was a truck driver then, and this car flipped up and I was going, everything was blocking. I was so pissed. I was like, these stupid people. People, you know, it was just I kept getting held up. I couldn't get out from the dock in time. And I was so mad the entire time until I got to this accident. And I seen this accident. And it's like he just hit me with a ton of bricks and said, had you left on time, had those stupid people not held you up, this was gonna be you. And I just sat there and all I could do was just think. I felt so, because I was pissed. I was pissed with the people holding me up from the time. I was pissed with everybody until I got to that accident. And when I got there, I felt like a stupid fool. Because you know, he let me see, this was waiting on you. And I put all these ventures in front of you to keep you from being there. Everything you fought, if it had went with what your mouth was saying, this would have been you. And that person was dead. So you know how much humility I took on that point. That really make you humble. You really just say, I just need to shut my mouth, which you ain't from now on out. Because you'll be talking a couple of minutes after you get past, then you get over it. That's just people. So periodically, he has to allow things to happen in our life just to show us how much you don't play a part of things, how much you really don't influence things the way you thinking, how much you really not in control of the way of things that you thinking. He controls everything. See, for us, we want to be in control of, and you realize, I gave it to you. That's why you here. You was in control before you came here. So we thought. And when we was in control, what kind of decision did we make? When you were picking your people, your friend, what kind of people did you pick? What are people at now that you would like this with? See, when the word comes, it shows you a divide. It's a separation. Because everybody not really true to the fact that they're making sure my soul saved.
That's right.
I only came here for one reason, that to make sure I'm right.
That's right.
Everything else is secondary. That's just be honest. Everything else in my life is secondary when it comes down to it. And when you set your mind to say salvation is primary and what you're going to do, it's going to cost you something. Don't let anybody lie. It's going to cost you something. I tell you, even the kitchen, go take the kitchen sink and set it out first. People used to say everything and the kitchen sink, unbolt the kitchen sink first.
That's right.
Then start with everything else.
That's right.
If you do the kitchen sink last, you're going to be in trouble. Go ahead and start last. Take the kitchen sink and throw it outside. Say, I already done throw that out. Now everything else got to go. For whatever reason, that's the last thing they said to get rid of. So it gets us to a mind of just really looking at things and making sure we have a real relationship. That's why we go back to look at people who he established relationships with. Not on my pastor. I know my pastor had, well, your pastor relationship ain't real that we have to hold to. This like concrete that we use for our belief. So when we use something that we're going to use for our belief and we're going to establish our not they're going to call faith, our stability, I got to use people that's got the time, they've been time tested and proven. See, these people time tested and proven. Abraham ain't in a state where he can fall away. He held hills to the end. We're still living to do that. So a lot of times we use people now when people fall, he'll let people fall in front of you just so you get your eyes off of them.
Yeah.
I don't use nobody for no focal point. I use him. Let me tell you, when it comes to people, people got choices. People got their own mind, and it's all about how far they really want to go. And you'll put it, people, I thought that killed me. I assure you, nobody far away had no life taken from me. That's just where you at. This life, people in a different place. Some people run here because they're trying to get out of a situation. For me, I was trying to get out of a situation, everlasting situation. So that put me to a situation. That put me to a point where I can't leave because I'm still trying to work out my situation. Some people it might be a woman. I got a man beating them and I need to get out. Ain't no shelter, so I'm gonna run to the Lord. You know, some people, man, might be I'm on drugs and rehab. Want to take my family want to get rid of me. They cut me out, so I need to run to the church so my family to deal with me longer. A family to look at me, they gotta have mercy on me. But when you do this gotta be something you gotta do for yourself. It's gotta be bigger than people. It's got to be something that's personal. And when it's personal, people say, well, it's for me, my kids, my wife, and everything. First thing I tell you, leave all them people alone. Work on self first. When you start picking up all these people, you're going to have problems. Now you got to care all these people. Then you got to try to make sure these people stay secure. And what only person I can make sure and I can do for the little strength I got is self. I'm not trying to carry no family. I ain't trying to make no belief for nobody else. I'm not trying to be no salvation. It's all I can do to get there for myself. And he established it that way. It ain't enough way he can give it to somebody else. That's why and we learned that when he came down, when he fed them from the manna. Manna mean what? Because they don't know what it was, but I know they ate it. I know they were black. When you hungry, you don't care what they call it, you hungry. They say, you want something? What? You know I'm hungry. That's why they call it what? Isn't that right? Ain't how they like can't believe you asked. But when he gave it to him, he gave every man a what? One home, according to what? So he gave you enough for you, your children, and to all them that are fall. He was trying to show them then. If your kid, you need to get your own. He wanted them to know what I give you is for you. Everybody who want it, they need to get their own. You can't chew it for them. You can't swallow it for them like a baby and take it back out. When you do, you ain't got nothing for yourself. That's what they learned. Every man, he said, I want every man to have a home. To realize the importance of every man for himself. That ain't forgetting other people. When it came down to it, I only gave enough for you. And you need to understand, it's not enough for you. Listen, if he saw fit to save me and not the rest of my family, it's unfortunate. I just know he chose me. I got to make it in. I ain't giving up nothing to get to nobody else. And I ain't read what nobody else done it. I'm flat-footed with it. They say Yahushua gave it up. I guarantee you be telling a lie. Because the man saved himself. He didn't save himself. And in fact, he complied with all Elohim told him to do. That was salvation to him. Why would he say you won't leave my nefesh in Sheol, my soul in Sheol? Because I know I've done the works. I know I proved out to show myself to what you gave me. So he didn't only just save you. It wouldn't make sense he couldn't save himself and he saved you. He even told you they were going to say to him, physician, heal thyself. Because people look, how you going to save somebody you can't save yourself? See, people look, it's not practical. People say, I'd die for my mama. I'd die and go to hell for my kid. That's a dangerous statement. I can't go nowhere for you. That's a choice. You got to make that for yourself. And he put it that way because every man, you need to secure your own. You know how many people have become salvation for their family? Become salvation for their husband, their wife? Not me. I'll hug my wife. I love her, but ain't no salvation for her. She said this ain't something she want to do. This ain't what she want to do. And we going to be separated. Everybody different now. He did say that, and that's the truth. He said the unbeliever, if he be pleased to dwell with the unbeliever, I ain't pleased to dwell with no unbeliever. You're no. I got to make it in. You gonna weigh on me. I ain't gonna be able to do it. You gonna weigh on by me coming in them pork chop frying, and that thing mess around and get smothered. Boy, coming up with some nice shrimp pasta laying on that stove. Gave up. No. Said, no, I ain't pleased to be here. That stuff get humming down the street, man. You can't let that stuff go. I ain't gonna tell no lie. I probably still get weak for a bucket of chili. So I don't want to mess up and lose out. Listen, they ain't that bad. You just gotta eat them right. If you eat them right, you don't smell them. That means in a hurry. But I'm just saying, things are well on you, but some people can do well with what he gives them, know what fits you. A lot of times, you got to know everything don't fit you. Isn't that right? Everything don't go well with you. When it comes out of your salvation, you got to know what you can take. Y'all hear me? I used to have a bishop years ago. Well, he was a bishop. I met him before he died. And I wound up moving the movement after, he had passed. And he used to tell people, they were talking about like put the kids out to do stuff. He said, well, you do what you can take. They asked him what they mean. He said, if you can sleep with them out there, knowing that, he said, you do what you can take. He said, now you know it's going to be weighing on you to be out there with, let them out there. He said, then you can't take it. He said, so you do what you can take. See, now I disagree with him. For the fact of, you got to do not what you can take. You got to do what's going to secure your salvation. Because there's a lot of stuff I can take. That don't mean I'm going to be saved. Shoot, man, when I used to drink, I could drink by the 12-pack. Ain't gonna be water them down like some folk told like they drink a case in 3 hours. No, I could take down by the 12-pack. I ain't gonna stack it. I'm gonna be feeling pretty good now. Cause that's what I could take. Now the question becomes, now will that save me? So that's why I don't agree with do what you can take. Cause a lot of stuff you can take, that don't make you saved. See, then you weigh things differently when you start looking at what's gonna put me in the parameter of being saved. That ain't gonna set well with salvation when I'm seeking, and this situation don't fit it. I ain't gonna be able to take that. Y'all got it? There's a lot of stuff. There's some women can sit around, they can take a man beating on them, because then they look at, well, it's either beat on me or I go live in the street. Y'all know, if women do that, let a man beat on them and stay there, because they look at, I can take that, because I don't want to be homeless, I can't work, I don't know how to work, I ain't never worked, so I can take him beating on me, mistreat me, because I can take that. Does that make it right? No. Don't do what you can take. Do what make you saved. See, now you're going to do what everybody going to be saved or do. You ain't got to wonder what everybody saved or do the same thing. Hello? Let's see, 1 Corinthians right quick. I'll try that. 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. I appreciate the Most High. Just being who he is. Let's see what happens. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. Listen.
I hereby exhort you, my king.
That's exhort, E-X-H-O-R-T?
Yes, sir.
That's warn. Is that what it said?
Yes, sir.
That's warn. He didn't say exalt. Isn't that right? They're going to be, I exhort you, then I'm warning you. Let's see what happened.
My king, by the Shem of our Adon,
Thy king, the brethren, by the Mashiach. By the anointed one, you said by the Shem of our Adon?
Yes,
or
sir.
Our master? Mm-hmm.
Yahushua HaMashiach.
That's right, that's our salvation, that's the anointed one. What happened?
To be all of you here at once, and there shall be no divisions among you, but you prepare together with one law and with one counsel.
Well, now, you think about this. Now, in the King James perversion, I call it perversion, they got different intent, but he said they all speak the same thing. He said that you all be in the same place. And that would more or less put you kind of on the same platform. See, a lot of time in being together, that's true. They said birds of a feather, what they do? Y'all ever seen some blue jays and robins flying out together? No. They don't do it. You'll see blue jay with each other and crows with each other. You don't see no hawk and no what's called them? Crows, eagles. That's tight. Let me get that check, big man. I don't even think about it. No, come on, big man, I need a check. That's what you had to get on and holler out them wrong answers. So now when you look at it, now when you're looking at it, you start to consider, now with them being in one place, it will be similar to having the same understanding of doing things. See, how we looked at things is what you do is a reflection of what you know. Just like when he taught me in the 4th chapter of the book of Allah Ha-Dabarim, that they call Deuteronomy, these are the words. That's why he wanted them to keep the Torah. He said, because this is your wisdom in the sight of the Goyim, of the nations. When these people see you, they're going to say, isn't this a wise Goyim? And they were going to realize that you showed a wisdom, I think, which is Hakam, is the word that you're going to look at. For Hakam is that wisdom, and showing that wise, showing how witty you are. The fact that you were able to keep and comply with something when they see you. They were going to start to judge you by that, because they were going to judge you by your works. So now he's telling them that they all, what we said, speak the same thing, that they all be in the same place. So you think about and that's sometimes people say you in a good place and you want other people in a good place. You want everybody to have the same perspective. You want everybody to have the same idea about things. And when you do that, that keeps down division. Now, one thing we could look at, we'll look at Yasharal and we'll look at Yehuda. Yasharal and Yehuda were together at one time. When Solomon, who they call Solomon, ruled over them. But after Solomon had moved, after he died, then what happened? His son Rehoboam took over. Now when Rehoboam came in, he sat down mashpat, judgment. He said, well, I'll tell y'all about me. I don't think my daddy was tough enough on y'all. And I tell you what, my little finger gonna be thicker than his loins. Now, Solomon had 1,000 women. That's tight. But anyway, moving forward. Yeah, food for thought. I know he wasn't much more anyway, but so now with that, when he sat down Mashpat to tell them how he was going to rule them, Yasharal split off. They broke off. We only know them as Yasharal, as one people. But when that happened, Yehuda separated, and they stayed with the Beth of Dawood, with the house of Dawood. But Yasharal cut up and they split. And you know what happened with them? They weren't in the same place now. So you understand that being in the same place? Because they didn't separate the state together. They told them, sit to your own bed. So when he came back to tell us about us being in one place, that's not hard to understand. To come back with the same ideology of one mind. So one mind with him would be wherever he at. When Yahushua said that he went away to prepare a place for us, for what reason? That where he is. Now, what kind of minded people going to be where he at? Like-minded people going to be in the same place. Who crackhead be with? Non-drug users? They're going to be with crackheads. So now you say, I want y'all to be in one place. So y'all got it, which means y'all have the same mind. Y'all have the same ideology. Y'all have the same judgment in what you're doing. And you got to be with people like that. It keeps you, it more or less builds you up. So when you look like it get weak, well, you got to start looking at people that got the same mindset. They're looking for the same opportunity. We're looking for salvation. And you got to be, a lot of times people come in, this is what you do. You keep too strong a relationship with people outside. I got a business partner. We do pretty good. Big him a nerve now. He breathed too hard. I told him he's too fat. He breathed. I tell him. I just told him, man, he's fat. He said he was driving the car. We had test drive. I said, that thing needs to work on. He said, I ain't here. I said, because you fat. I said, you breathe so hard you can't hear. He said, I had the window down. I said, there's more trouble. Your fat breathing in that air coming in that window. I said, roll the window up and quit breathing, you'll hear it. Anyway, I try to be nice with people. And Prince, you got a check coming. So now, with that being said, you're really trying to look at how close a relationship you keep with people. I've been in part of people I do business with that's not of the same, religious aspect of what I deal with, but I learn how to keep things in perspective. I know what we do and how far we go. I don't go visit I don't go nowhere out. We ain't going no hanging out. We ain't doing that because I'm not interested. I do business. Y'all got what I'm saying? This is my life. So there are things you do outside, but sometimes people, I just use that for business. Sometimes people try to keep old friends and folks hung up in there. You got to know where you at. Because he said, if any man be in the Mashiach, you ain't going to believe it. And old thing supposed to be, and all things supposed to be. I just still keep with my old ones, though. That's because you ain't new. You just the creature. See that right? That's how you just the creature. Ain't that right? And it could be from the lagoon. So all these things you need to consider. So at the end of the day, the only thing we're trying to look at is make sure we understand where we're supposed to be. We want to make sure we understand, acknowledge what it is he's trying to get us to do. Y'all got it? Because I told you, I look at everything he gives me as an idea. You don't have to take it, but then consider your latter end when you don't. I look at it being beneficial for the fact that those that adhered to it, stuck fast, held to it, I look at the benefit they got from it. That's how I look at it when people look at blessing. We look at Baraka, it's a benefit. Like certain jobs, you learn, you say, man, this thing come with this and this. These are called benefits, perks on top of. Y'all got it? Perks on top of pay. That's what he get. It's a benefit. He said, these are benefits I'm giving you besides the pay. And these are the things we're trying to look at in order to receive him. Then you got to understand, what is he trying to get me to comply with? What's the importance of me taking his counsel? But you prepare together with one heart and with one counsel. We take one recommendation. When Yasharal and Yehuda split, it because somebody took somebody else's counsel. That's how important you can't. He told you, if Kataim enticed thee, you got to look at where people heart at. They're trying to get you to do stuff. When people trying to get you, pull you out, where your heart at? What kind of servitude you have? So how important is salvation? Y'all know y'all don't. You just take what people give you. How important salvation is in you when you make these comments, when you make these decisions, when you say, look, where you at with your salvation? Where you at in your living? Because people don't want to ask that because people don't want to offend people, or is it you don't want to get offended because you ain't where you need to be? Think. Think before you react. Y'all got it? That's two. Give Mr. Yahuwah a hand clap. Appreciate the Most High. Get ready to take up a little money. Get ready so we can get out of here. Appreciate everything he do, everything he's done, everything he gonna do. Isn't that right? Y'all all right? So yeah, y'all get out here to go and tell some lies. Say you shouldn't, but well, I'll tell him, take this up on stage, I'll take that on stage for me. So we can get ready, and then y'all should come and give us our announcement. Come on, dude. Come on, fat man. Where you look? Where you going? Put on that phone. I know it. Thank you, police. Thank you, Meeks. Tell on everybody else. I know. Meeks tell on everybody too. Yeah, he'll snitch. Appreciate it. Everybody all right, though? Appreciate it. I always appreciate the word. I give you something to consider. That's right. So you can grow thereby. Ain't that right? Yeah, we take it. They told us to desire the sincere milk of the word so that you might grow thereby. Ain't that right? Start there. Don't come out trying to get no whole big old chop steak. Get you a little bit of milk. Take it, grow, and start to elevate. Don't let everybody give you everything. Know what you can take. What you'll share with our announcement? All right, there she go. Tell Stephen. Go and wave at Stephen. Yeah. She trying to act all humble. Don't try to act like you acting when you be on that phone when you talking to him. Oh, Stephen, my heart is bleeding. Go ahead.
Everybody send their hob, and today is Kevin's 40th birthday.
All right, Kevin, happy birthday. That's right. Just for the record, this one light started to go downhill, 40. Man, listen, when you hit 40, everything speed up so fast, you'll be in your 50s before you know it. I ain't gonna listen, man, I ran through them 40, I ran through them things so fast, I don't even remember. I ain't even gonna lie to you. You remember the day, 40. That time you hit 59. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know what about them 40, they don't hold you long. Shh. Man, like milk trying to hold a 9-year-old kid. That stuff ain't gonna hold nobody long. They get ready to stand, give Mr. Yahuwah a hand clap and give it up. Man, I'm telling you, nothing like them 40s. If I could back it back up a little bit, ain't that right? Woo, just a tiny bit back in them 40s. I'm talking about way back up at that 39, 40, or 30, 35, right around 28. See, that's why he don't let us wind it back. You ain't gonna never satisfy her. Boy, 21. I don't want to go too far, but I owe some work when I was in high school. Get back too far, I'll fail. Everybody all right? All right, before we go, got our visit. How we doing, kind sir? That's good. What's the name? Get the mic. Just get your name in your mind. Tell us how you found
David.
David, how you doing, sir?
Sorry.
Oh, that's them. That's the microphone. They probably thought you were gonna sing. Yes, I hear. I say you ain't gonna. You're not a singer.
Only the Shema.
There you go. How we doing, sir? So how you found us?
I'm from Conyers.
Okay.
I've been away for several years, North Georgia and then in South Georgia. Moved back here last week as a Messianic Jew.
Okay.
So really a Gentile by birth, but practice the faith of Judaism as a believer in Yeshua.
Well, guess what? You ain't gonna believe it or not. Everybody that's not in it, everybody don't believe it or not, they all converted in. Everybody converted in. Because we all got away from it. And Black, we've been bad about that, claiming and just doing. It started out one way with people, but it worked out the way he was supposed to. That everybody was supposed to be dissembled out and then grabbed everybody back in. The people this way, it is. So you know what? It's one common way with all of us.
Yep.
And if that's the way he intended to be, we appreciate you for coming by and being with us today.
Baruch Hashem. Thank
you. Give me a hand clap. Appreciate you. Appreciate that. We turn the face toward the east. We'll get ready to pray. All lobs clear? All right, let's palau. Most High, Kudash Abba, the separated Father, we give kabud and kabad, which is the honor and the glory the glory and the honor to your Shem, which is your name. Without you, we are nothing. We seek you for understanding. We seek you for refuge. We seek you for healing. We seek you for your da'ath, which is your knowledge. We palau, in which we ask that you would turn us away from our kata'im, our sins, and our ma'al, which are our transgressions. We give the hadu, the thanks, and the tudah, the thanksgiving to your Shem, Yahuwah, Elohim, who is our Shaddai, which is the most powerful, who is a beer. And we give unto you that we might be the part of your Shem, which is to beautify your name. We give Hadu thanks and the Tudah, thanksgiving to Yahushua, HaMashiach, which is your salvation, the anointed one, for his Kai, his life, for his Mut, his death, for his Kum, which is his resurrection, for his Dam that covereth us from all our wrongdoings. Hadu, again, thanks for the opportunity of repentance, for acknowledging our kata'im, our sins, according to the Berith Yushabbat, which is the covenant you vowed to Abraham, Yasakak, Jacob, to the Yahudim, and to Yasharal, and to the Tuladaf, which are their generations, even unto us and our Tuladaf, which are our generation, and even to those that are far, that you would assemble us as one Adah, as one fold and one flock. We allow that you would baraka us, which bestow a gift or benefit upon us, which your piney, your face, let it aura upon us, which is lightened. Let your piney, which is your present, let it encircle us all about and keep us in hedges. Be a baraka, which is a gift or benefit to our young people, that they will zakar you, which is marked to remember in their youth before the Rosha Yomim come, which are the evil days. Recover those gone astray and taken from us, even our individual mishpachah, which are our families. Be a baraka to the out-of-towners and restore a gift of benefit upon them and others that are over the yam, which are overseas, that seek you, that watch in, that support your dabarim, your words, that yakra upon your shem, which is called upon your name. Baraka those which bestow a gift of benefit for those in leadership and authority, the married, the single, the separated, the sick, the afflicted, behind prison walls, bereaved. We continue to be a baraka, a gift and a benefit to the Sims family in their hour and time of need, to Uncle Ted, to Chris, and to Carrie and Keisha, and so many others that seek you for refuge. Those that are in war-stricken country, those in captivity, those going through the devastations of nature according to your will. Let it be done, but be a shield and a buckler to those that seek you. Make us of the Kodashim, which are the separated ones. Make us Talmim, which is complete. Make us joint heirs with the Mashiach, which is the anointed one. Baraka Jerusalem, the city, the foundation Shalom. Baraka your Shalakim, your sent ones. Your Ra'ah, your shepherds. And your Mal'aki, your messengers. Lamed us, which is to teach and show us and instruct us. And seal us with the Ruach HaKadosh, which is the spirit of separation. And when we've done all we can do on this side, if you see fit that we don't come the seat of you, that's the seat of day. We palau, in which we ask that you grant us a beth in your Malkuth, which is a home in your empire, where we can see your piney, your face, and Tahalim, your Shem better, which is praise your name. In the Shem of Yahushua HaMashiach we palau. Let us all say, Amen. Come home! Come home! I hug you. Come on, kids. Hurry up. Hurry up, you baby kids. Y'all baby kids. Come on. Y'all ready? Come on, focus. Okay, we're gonna come on, y'all get ready. You tripping. Something. Come on up, y'all ready? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Y'all got me and my kids. We gotta sing. Come, I said. All right, Deuce, come on. We gotta. Y'all ready? Come on up, son. Let me see y'all. Come on, y'all ready? Come on, joke over here. All right, come on. You can't tell it all. Come on, you can't tell it all. You know too much. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3, hit it. Ra-ah-ah, the little children. Ooh, all the children of the congregation. Woo. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight. Ra-ah-ah, the little children of the congregation. Woo! Come home, I hug you.